Norwegian announces their newest ship, but it lacks one big item that many may miss. 13 grand worth of art goes missing on a Carnival cruise, and another man goes overboard. Ahoy, travelers. It's Amy here with your weekly Cruise News Roundup and my thoughts on some of the biggest stories of the week. Now, I have had a rough weekend that includes my Starlink no longer working and an explanation as to why I look like this today. Stick around and I'll fill you in on all the drama, but first, let's get to some cruise news. Norwegian announced their next Prima-Class ship, set to debut in 2025. The Norwegian Aqua will be the third in its class and boasts expanded outdoor spaces and a greater variety of staterooms, which will likely include more solo cabins to comply with the line's new push towards accommodating solo cruisers. I think you can expect to see more than just some interior solo cabins as well. The Aqua will have the world's first hybrid roller coaster and water slide, the Aqua Slide Coaster. Complete with exhilarating slides and a magnetic lift that propels guests through 2 different courses, this NCL exclusive experience is going to feature 3 stories of twists and turns around the ship's funnel. The new slide coaster means no racetrack though, which may be a negative to some cruisers who have come to love that unique Norwegian Cruise Line feature. I have a feeling the line will use this as a way to see which one is more popular with their guests. I'm not sure if there will be a cost for the slide coaster or not, as nothing is mentioned about it in the news release. However, it seems unlikely that they would replace one pay-for-play item with something that's free. I wonder if they had way too many problems with not being able to actually use the race course in inclement weather, and now they're hoping the slide is something that they could actually use more often. We'll see. Also new will be the Glow Court. It's a sports game experience with an LED floor that will offer a variety of interactive guest activities by day, and then it's going to transform into a nightclub in the evening. The Norwegian Aqua is open for booking now. Do you think this is going to be a new ship that you want to book on? What are your thoughts about replacing the racetrack with the slide coaster? Let me know in the comments below. I'm not one to do more than just glance at the artwork on a cruise ship as I walk past it. Sometimes they do have a painting by one of my favorite artists, and I enjoy getting to see those in person. But I am a firm believer that the artwork is overpriced, and unless it's just something that you love and want more than anything else, you'd be better off buying your artwork somewhere else. I guess a couple on the Carnival Legend also felt like the artwork that they were interested in was a little too pricey. Back in late September, 2 individuals went into the art gallery in the middle of the night and left with 2 sculptures worth $13,000. Security footage was reviewed and showed a man and woman enter the ship's art gallery empty-handed on September 29th around 2 a.m., then leave several minutes later carrying items, quote, consistent in appearance with the missing sculptures, end quote. This is according to court documents that have been filed. The robbers were able to be identified due to the security footage and then verified because one of them was seen wearing the exact same outfit in a social media post. Look, you never know when an Instagram post is going to get you ID'd for a crime. A search warrant was filed on Tuesday, October 31st, in federal court in Baltimore, Maryland. The FBI then conducted an appropriate search and recovered the missing sculptures. During the early morning hours on Friday of this week, a guest on a chartered cruise on the Norwegian Pearl went overboard while the ship was sailing near the Bahamas on its way back to Miami. The ship made a U-turn and search for the 41-year-old male was quickly enacted. However, after searching for 9 hours, the captain made the hard decision to resume course to Port Miami. The inclement weather during the night of October 3rd, plus the limited visibility, made finding the passenger virtually impossible. These situations are sad, but unfortunately, you read about 1 or 2 most months nowadays. While cruise ships have various safety measures to prevent people from accidentally falling overboard, foul play, an accident due to poor decision-making, and excessive alcohol abuse means these events do still occur despite all measures taken to prevent them. Now, before I get into my super bad day yesterday, if you enjoy this video and maybe even learn something, consider subscribing with the notification bell on so you don't miss any future posts. Be sure to hit that like button as well. It only takes a second, and doing so helps cruisers like you find us. Well, two events have conspired to really set off my weekend on the wrong foot. First off, I came home Friday morning from work and my internet wasn't working. After being on the wait list for over a year, I finally got Starlink hooked up a couple of months ago, and it has been so nice to have Wi-Fi and not constantly have to use my phone as a hotspot for everything. Plus, I can finally hook up all the smart devices that I've had in a drawer for 2 years. Well, I tried unplugging and plugging back in the router because it has happened before that it just doesn't work for some reason, and that'll make it start working again, but it didn't work. Then I remembered that the cable out to the dish had been moved by my dog, who had recently just relocated to her winter location in the yard. When I had gone out to take care of chickens and ducks and rabbits this morning, and guineas, yes, I have lots of animals, I had noticed the cord had been moved, but I didn't notice any damage, so I just really got it out of her way a little bit better and moved on. Yes, apparently she had reached and grabbed the cable that I thought was out of her reach and then chewed it almost all the way through. Do you know how much a new Starlink cable costs? Over $150. Mostly I'm mad at myself for not properly making sure the cable was out of the reach of the dog and for not having the dish permanently mounted and the cable nowhere near where anything could get to it in the first place. But getting up on that roof, mounting the dish, crawling into the attic to run a line just hasn't been high on my list of things to do, so I've had the dish out on a stump in the yard and then the cable running through a nearby window. It worked, but I know I need to get it set up the right way, and I guess I'll have to now. I have a friend whose job it is to work with stuff like this, Cat5 cables and things, so he's going to see if he can splice the cable back together, but it's still going to mean a shorter cable, and I'm definitely going to have to get the dish mounted in order to get it hooked up with that significantly shorter cable, assuming it can be fixed. He thinks he can. So I'm back to using my phone as a hotspot for now, and I'm just hoping that I don't have to end up spending that $150 some for a new cable. But the whole issue with my internet isn't even the worst of what's happened over the weekend, even if it may turn out to be the most expensive. I noticed Thursday night at work that I had a spot behind my ear that was really itching. For those who don't know, I work night shift at my job, so that's why I say I got home on Friday morning. I didn't think much about it, and it didn't itch too bad, but when I got home Friday morning and got ready to head off on a shopping trip to the big city with my mother, I still didn't realize anything was wrong as I put makeup on and headed out the door. To be fair, I was a little bit more upset at that point with the Starlink issue, and so I don't think I really paid a lot of attention. But by the time I'd gotten to my mom's, I realized there was a rash on my face. Now, during the hour-and-a-half drive to the big city, yes, I really do live in the middle of nowhere, and we have to drive 90 miles to get to a town with like an actual mall and big box stores. Anything that's a big chain, we don't have it. We've got Walmart, that's about it, right? So anyway, during the drive, it really started itching across my face more and more, and by the time we got to our nail appointment, new nails everybody, I realized it had made it to my eyelid. All day, I tried not to scratch and make it worse while we were both trying to figure out what in the world I could have done to get a rash on my face. Like, was there any new products I tried, but nothing that would have done this in the right time frame. It just kept getting worse and worse throughout the day. So on the way back home, when we stopped for groceries, I got some Benadryl to take. However, it wasn't until this morning that I figured out what it is. It's poison ivy. I am so allergic to it. And I've had it on my face before, which is the worst. The only thing I can think of is that it must have been on some of the firewood and I touched it and then I touched my face. Most likely I was wiping like sweat off my face and then transferred the poison ivy oils to my face from the firewood. You know, it was cold last week. It's the first time I used any of the wood. I grabbed it without getting my gloves, and I'm going to have to definitely pay attention with this wood because it's obviously got poison ivy on it. Since the rash is now full blown, it's obvious that it's poison ivy because it itches and it hurts. So I'm not going to be wearing any makeup for a week or so, and I may end up having to go to the doctor and get some steroids since it's so close to my eye. I mean, it's on my eyelid. You could see it's swollen, and there's now patches on this side of my face too. It's really bad behind my ear. So, how was your week? Well, I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into the drama unfolding in my life, as well as some of the cruise news that you came for. Why not stick around and check out this video and then come back for more information designed to help you have an amazing cruise. Have a blessed week, everyone.